This is Personal Injury Court.
Good day, everyone. This is the matter of Segal versus Davis. Ms. Segal, it's my understanding that you are suing Mr. Davis for injuries you sustained in your apartment that you rent from him. He didn't make the repairs you requested, and you were injured as a result. You're asking this court to award you $65,000 for past medicals, $25,000 for future medicals, including surgery, $60,000 for lost earnings, $150,000 for pain and suffering, and a total award of $300,000. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Davis, it's your position that she is the author of her own fate. She took chances she shouldn't have taken, and she's responsible for her own injuries.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, let's get into the legal sauce. How did you get to rent this apartment?
Well, Your Honor, I met Arthur, got stuck in the elevator with him. We began talking, and, I was a little nervous, so he helped me, calm me down, and I let on that I was looking for an apartment, and he told me that he owned an apartment building that had a vacancy. So that just seemed like it fell into my lap.
So you owned an apartment building?
Yes, but let me tell you what happened, Your Honor. I'm the landlord and I'm the owner of the building. The only thing I don't understand is why she ain't stated in the testimony that me and her dated for about a year, Your Honor.
So
First of all, what does that have to do with today? That has nothing to do with today.
Well, is that true? You all did used to date?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Your Honor. We did used to date, but that has nothing to do with today.
Ms. Segal, how long were you in this apartment before this incident?
About 2 years, Your Honor.
And during that 2 years, was it pretty much event-free?
I wouldn't say event-free, but it started getting bad recently.
What?
Well, to be there 2 years, I imagine you were somewhat happy, right?
Yeah, the first year we dated.
Well, y'all know we ain't here about you all's past relationship, right? I appreciate you sharing that with me. Obviously, it means something to you, but from a legal perspective, it doesn't really bear on the issues in this case. So tell me about the incident where you got hurt.
Okay, well, Your Honor, I broke up with him and I met a new man, Big D. That's my baby right there.
Come on, man.
So we went out on a date, and I brought him back to my place. It was, I was ready for, to show him some things. So we're in my living room. We're in my living room, and we're like kissing. So I stop him for a minute, and I said, "Give me a second." I go in the room, get all dolled up and everything, and then I call him into the room. So when he got there, I'm standing in front of my swing. I want to show him just exactly, what I can do. So I get in a swing, and I swing back, forth, maybe one time, and then boom, everything just came down, Your Honor. The ceiling, everything. I landed on my back, my head. There was blood. I couldn't even move. I just remember screaming in agony. And
so the ceiling actually collapsed?
It actually collapsed, Your Honor. It just came down.
Well, when the ceiling came down, are you actually in the swing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this what the ceiling looked like?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that big piece of that came out there, Mr. Davis. What's going on with that?
I don't even know, Your Honor. I don't even know how that happened, because when we used it, we ain't never had no problems with the sex one, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Davis, you and Miss Segal actually used this swing before this day?
Yeah.
And y'all didn't have any problems in the past?
He installed it, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
He bought it and he installed it.
So, Mr. Davis, you installed this swing?
You see this right here? In case you missed it, Your Honor, this is not your typical 8-year-old swing. It's a sex swing, Your Honor.
It's an entertainment swing.
Okay, so how does that hang from the ceiling, Mr. Davis?
Just grab this part right here, you grab the bracket, and you hold it up there, and that's it. You ready to go?
Like he knows
but
what
wait
he's
a minute, you don't hold it while you're doing
No,
stuff,
no. You gotta attach it to the ceiling. It comes with a bracket.
If it's gonna work right, it doesn't come down, right?
Yeah, and it was working right for a while, so I don't know what happened. It was fun, Your Honor, but it has its weight limit, Your Honor. She was actually smaller when we bought the swing.
Wait a minute. Hey.
About 20, 30 pounds.
We're not gonna go there.
Mistaken,
Okay?
y'all.
I did not gain
Hey,
weight.
look, we're not gonna go there.
Hey.
Mr. Johnson.
What you on, a reverse keto diet or something?
Hey, look.
Mr. Johnson,
Your Honor.
Hey, yo, little D, sit down, little D. Sit down.
we're gonna have order in this courtroom. I've got somebody by my side who's bigger than both of y'all, and he's got a gun. So we're gonna have order in this courtroom.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Davis, one, we're not gonna insult anybody.
I'm a big dude. I'm not trying to make fun of her. I'm just saying she was smaller.
Well,
we bought
how
the
would I
swing.
know there's a weight limit on that?
I read the instructions before I installed it in the bedroom, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Miss Segal, did you know there was a weight limit on the swing?
Yes, but I'm nowhere near that weight limit.
Okay, so you're sitting in the swing. Mr. Johnson's there. For the record, your name is Damian Johnson, right?
It's Big D, Your Honor.
Well, that's not your legal name, though, right? That's what you go by.
Well, that's what Big D get called.
Okay. All right, Big D.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
What do you remember about this night?
All right, so on the night particularly in question, all right, this was our 91st day of dating. All right, Susan, she had this.
But who's counting, huh?
Well, I counted every day of every minute if you want to know the truth, Your Honor.
Yes,
because
sir.
Susan had this 90-day, you got to wait before you get any type of, you know,
I'm a lady, Your Honor.
action.
got to hit it the first time I
we
met
gonna
her,
say
Your Honor.
hoo-ha, okay?
She made him wait.
man,
I
hold
had to hit
on.
it right away. I didn't have to wait.
Don't worry about where Big D go or what Big D does.
Whatever, man.
Stay out of Big D's business. Well, hey,
I'll
you might
say
have
this.
to wait, but you know what I'm saying? Good things come to
Y'all's
those
waiting
quick.
periods don't concern me, okay? So you're sitting there, Miss Segal gets in the swing, what happens?
Well, and she got in the swing, and she did a couple, like 1, 2, then crack! And everything just like came down. It was crazy, Your Honor. The ceiling started coming down, and first thing jumped in Big D's mind was Big D was thinking to save his woman.
And so you went to her rescue.
Right, and I went to her rescue. I got her up out of the rubble. Then first thing Big D did was to call 911.
Did Big D realize that Miss Segal was hurt?
Yes, Your Honor, because the ceiling was on top of her.
Miss Segal, tell me about your injuries. What happened to you?
Well, I mean, I have cracked vertebrae, Your Honor. Even standing here right now, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm depressed about it, and most of all, because the swing came down, we never got to get our freak on, and I can't even do that now.
Miss Segal, you believe it's Mr. Davis's fault because... Why do you think it's his fault?
It's his fault because he wasn't maintaining the building, Your Honor. That building had leaks. I'm not the only one that's had the leaks. I've complained to him about the leaks.
So, Mr. Davis, you got this building. Did you have leaks?
No, first of all, Your Honor, she never mentioned the leak. Let me just
Your
tell you
Honor,
something.
I'm
Your
gonna
Honor.
tell you right now.
She's over-demanding, Your Honor. Like, she complains about everything. Like I said,
Your
she's
Honor,
a chronic complainer,
I
Your
texted
Honor.
him about the
I
leaks.
mean, did she ever call you about leaks?
No, she never mentioned a leak in the
Your Honor,
Your Honor.
Did you notify him about
I
leaks?
did, and I even texted him. Your Honor, I even brought the text message printed out for you to see.
The text messages don't lie. Sheriff Matt, please get the text messages. Let's see what they are. The green is you, right, Miss Segal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you send someone, garbage is building up in the trash room? Do you remember getting that, Mr. Davis? That
Oh, Your Honor.
text?
No, I don't.
All right, but you did write back at one point, no problem. So you got it at some point.
Probably did, Your Honor, and I probably took care of it. That's why I said no problem.
Then the next day, Miss Segal writes, the stain I showed you in the bedroom is getting bigger. Can you please get over here? Did she show you the stain in the bedroom?
No, Your Honor, I don't know if it was the bed sheet, the floor. I don't know. She didn't tell me what it was, Your Honor.
Well, the stain
she
you're
did-
talking about, Miss Segal, is the one on the ceiling.
Yes, Your Honor, the one right above my swing.
And you never saw a stain near the swing on the ceiling?
Your Honor, if I would have known, I would have came over and I would have took care of
He
it, Your Honor.
knew.
So you didn't have any leak problems in your building?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, you believe that this had nothing to do with the condition of your building or the condition of her apartment. You believe she just simply shouldn't have been using that swing.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes,
And this is all her fault.
yes it is, Your Honor. I even told her to take it down. I wanted to be careful, and she didn't listen.
You want me to take it down because I wasn't using it with you anymore?
Ms. Segal,
Yes,
you
Your
have
Honor.
submitted $65,000 in medical bills to this court.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've obviously got a pretty big financial burden. You're also asking this court for $25,000 for your future medicals. How are you going to pay these bills?
I don't know, Your Honor. I have no idea how I'm supposed to take care of myself. You know, no one plans for this.
With a cracked vertebrae and herniated disc, how do you do your job? I see you're asking for $60,000 for lost wages.
I cannot, Your Honor. I can't drive. I can't. Standing is hurting me, and I can't sit for long periods of time, so I cannot work, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, you see that this is a life impact.
I understand, Your Honor, but I'm not at fault.
What does Big D think about this experience?
Your Honor, how can he not be at fault when not only did he install it, it's his building, and for not the upkeep of it?
Well, let me give you a legal lesson, though. Simply because something happens in your building, that fact alone does not mean that Mr. Davis is responsible. What I've got to figure out as the judge is this event, is it caused by something he failed to do or didn't do correctly? Now, Ms. Segal, obviously these sex swings have some limitations. Were you paying attention at all as to whether there was a weight limit on this one?
Yes, Your Honor. I knew it was 300 pounds, and I'm nowhere near 300 pounds.
Now, Big D didn't get in this sex swing,
No,
right?
no, Your Honor. This is a single sex swing.
Big D ain't made to be in the swing.
Your Honor, they purposely, deliberately damaged that ceiling, Your Honor.
Somebody gonna...
You think I would do this to
think I
myself
got my
to damage
bruises
it?
on my
For
face?
what?
How so?
Your Honor, she had called me talking about she had gotten a new job in a new city, and if I can let her out of Felice early,
Wait,
and
new
I have a voicemail to prove
New
it, Your
job.
Honor.
Well, you have submitted that audio to this court.
Yes,
but,
Your Honor.
But you think
what?
she went through this whole thing just to get out of her lease?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, let's listen to the
I would
audio.
never do that.
Hey, it's me, Sue. So, I'm calling because I may have just snagged this banging new job in Vegas.
Vegas?
So, I was wondering if you could help me out by, I don't know, letting me out of the last 4 months of my lease. Anyway, give me a call when you get this message. Thanks. Bye.
So you wasn't gonna tell Big D about none of this?
We were gonna talk about that.
Oh, she didn't tell you.
No, don't start stuttering.
Well,
All
now.
this stuff happened.
When we're finished, we'll send y'all to couples court. Ms. Segal, you were trying to get out of your lease, right?
Your Honor, I was trying to get out because of the leaks, Your Honor. I kept telling him about the leaks, and he would never come check it.
Your Honor,
But you admit you wanted to get out early so you could head out to Vegas.
Honor,
Even Big D is surprised by that.
But my new job wouldn't start
I
until
didn't
2 weeks
invest
before my
too much
lease was up anyway.
Mr. Davis, you think she would go through all this and tear your place up just to
Your
get
Honor.
out of a lease? Why not just leave?
Your Honor, she probably pulled the damn swing down, Your Honor.
Oh, so now I'm Popeye? I got strength like that?
Probably you and Big D over here. That's probably why you got him.
Wait a minute. Hold on, listen. This is what I want. I can't believe Big D didn't invested all this time into you.
Wait, we're not here about that.
I did 91 days first. Now
We're not here about that.
I did 91 minutes.
Big D is just derailed, sideswiped or something. Big D don't know how to take this right now.
We haven't had a chance to talk about it.
I'm done. Big D can't take this.
Goodbye, Big D.
You all alone now, huh?
Miss Segal, did you pull this swing down and try to get out of your lease?
No, Your Honor. Who would do this to themselves? I have a deposition from my neighbor who saw the stain that I told him about in the text.
Sheriff Matt, will you retrieve the deposition from Miss Segal? Let me take a peek at it. This is a statement from Miss Betty Johnson, apartment 3D, and it reads, I saw the water stain on Miss Segal's ceiling. It was up around the swing. I was shocked that she was into that sort of thing, but that's none of my business. The water stain was pretty bad. It looked similar to the one I had a few years ago. I was lucky the building inspector saw mine and told me that I wasn't the only one with the problem. They promised they were all going to be fixed.
And they were, Your
Y'all
Honor.
did have a leak problem in this building, Mr. Davis?
Your Honor, I fixed it.
Is
I
this
didn't just
lady
leave it
lying
there.
too?
I fixed it, Your Honor.
So you fixed it?
Yes, Your Honor.
But mine
I fixed
wasn't.
it.
All right,
You never
so-
told me about a leak in your ceiling.
If you had known about the leak, would you have fixed it?
If she would have told me, I would have fixed it.
Folks, I think I've heard what I need to hear.
Really?
I'm ready to render my decision. This, like every other personal injury case that I've done as a judge, requires that the plaintiff prove three things. You have to prove that Mr. Davis did something wrong or failed to do something. You have to prove that his wrong caused your injuries. Clearly, you were injured. You've put evidence before this court that show that you've got some pretty severe back injuries.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, you don't believe that this is your fault because you say you didn't know about the stains on the ceiling and the leaks in the building.
Yes, Your Honor.
If there ever was a case where the legal concept of comparative negligence applies, it is this one. Here, you as the landowner, as the landlord, have responsibilities to keep your place in good repair, but only as to those things that you know are defects or you should have known are defects. You should, in a reasonable time, address those and keep your tenant safe. You, Ms. Segal, have the responsibility of putting him on notice, but also of taking care of yourself. I think you have proven Mr. Davis is wrong. That is, you should have taken this swing down. This does not crash like this because a bolt came out. This swing failed and that ceiling failed because you had a history of leaks. I find you've proven his wrong.
Thank you.
But he's not the only one wrong. You had an opportunity to avoid this whole thing because you saw the stains too. You had been in that swing. You knew other people were complaining. In this case, I find, Mr. Davis, that you are 2/3 wrong. Miss Segal, you are 1/3 wrong, but because you're 1/3 responsible, I'm giving you 2/3 of what you ask. I find in your favor for $200,000 against Mr. Davis. That's my final verdict, and this matter is adjourned.
Wow.
Thank you, Your Honor. Pay up.
Our attorneys across America just viewed this case for the first time. Let's hear what Andrew Finkelstein has to say.
This is a perfect example of how diligent investigation can make a claim. By interviewing people with knowledge of defects in the defendant's building, the plaintiff found a witness who actually saw the water stain on the ceiling before the swing fell and was willing to provide testimony. This was critical to show the defendant knew or should have known of the ceiling defect, and yet he did nothing to repair it, thus causing the plaintiff's injuries.
Oh, man. Nothing wrong with my building,
Pay
man.
up, sucker.
Like, come on, man. Y'all
Don't be a hater. Make sure you
I don't
pay
think
my
that's
money.
fair,
You
Your
want my
Honor.
money?
That's not fair,
Want
man.
my money?